Hey, David Wygant, there's going to be a confession today, a confession that you guys have never heard. So I strongly suggest you sit down because this is something that I'm going to share with you that I've never ever shared. The number is probably in six figures, okay? And I'm not kidding you. Since I was probably 20 years old, that was quite some time ago, I've been on an obsession, let's just say. I've been obsessing for the perfect leather jacket. I swear it exists. You can go in my closet and there's probably about 10 vintage leather jackets ranging from the 30s all the way to the 70s. People will marvel at my jackets, but yet still I will go on Instagram and I will find ones that are better. But the problem is I got long ass arms and they don't fit and it drives me nuts, right? So along with the leather jacket, I've had this, well, let's just call it this jean obsession. It started in the 80s in New York. There was this place called B Flat. Her name was Betty. It was in the East Village when the East Village was really scary, when you actually went to the East Village and you really were not, you had to get out of there before dark, not because there was the zombie apocalypse, there was the scary people that would actually take your money. I mean, that's when crime was on the streets of New York. She had Levi's from the 60s and 70s and 80s. I basically built my collection based on that. And then I had a collection probably of 50 or 60 vintage Levi's with tears and rips and patches and Snoopy patches and probably the best jeans in the entire world. And then something happened in 2000. There was all these designer jeans that came out, from True Religion to AG to everything. And I was like, I'm going to buy them all. So I had stacks of those and got rid of all my vintage Levi's. As you can see, I'm swallowing right now, taking it to the heart. As I aged and got older and wiser and learned from my valuable lessons, I threw out all those horrific mall jeans. I took that bad denim and I gave it to charity. I gave it to the people that worked underneath me. My coaches are great. They just don't have the denim taste that I do. And I started cultivating Wrangler Bluebells, Levi's, and workwear and everything else. And I stumbled across this amazing book. There's this store called American Rag where they just try to rip you off on a daily basis. But sometimes you can find a really good vintage thing. And it's across the street from Kelly Cole, who has really amazing white t-shirts. If you want plain white vintage t-shirts, Kelly Cole is the best. And Trent's a really awesome guy. So I like to go in there and shoot the shit. And I saw this book called Denim Dudes. And I was like, man, Denim Dudes, that looks like me. And I started going through it. And I was like, well, I'm going to order it from Amazon because I can get it for a few bucks less on Amazon. Sorry, Amy. But I started looking through it and I was thinking to myself, this is what Double RL wants to be. And I spent a lot of money at Double RL too, trying to, cultivate their stuff as well. I mean, I could take you through every single vintage store in LA. So I saw this book and I ordered this book and I said, you know what? I got to have this person on because maybe, just maybe, she can help all of you understand the importance of what denim truly is. So without further ado, I've got the Denim Dudette, the Denim Dude. Amy is here. Amy, is it Leverton, right?
It is Amy Leverton, that's right.
Amy Leverton. So Amy, how did this obsession, and I'm going to ask you what your favorite pair of jeans are too at the end, but how did this obsession start and why is denim just so important in fashion, in the fashion world right now in 2018? Why is it so important? Why the wrong pair of jeans to me can send the worst message to a poor man or woman who's going out on their first date? It's like, it just ruins everything. So what is it? What inspired this? What made you want to do this?
So, okay, my background is in design. I graduated in fashion design from a university in London called Kingston University. And my first job out of university was working for this company called Okini. And they were very geeky. Already I was sort of bought into this sort of very geeky, quite guys involved world. And it was a collaboration-only company, so you'd collaborate with, say, Levi's or Lee, or Eversue was huge at the time, obviously.
Oh, God.
2003 or so. And we produced these limited edition runs of jeans and also lots of other stuff like T-shirts. And we did collaborations with Adidas, creating these sort of 1 of 100 or whatever. So it was quite funny because it was ahead of its time. It was limited edition, online only collaborations. And in 2002-03, that was kind of like, everyone was excited by Okini and it was new and exciting, but it was we were doing things for the first time. And that was very exciting. And that kind of got, like, I guess that was my first dip of the toe into the denim world. And then the big defining moment for me, we did a collaboration with a company called Duffer St. George. They're a British company, and they wanted to do the ultimate t-shirt, the ultimate sweatshirt, the ultimate jean.
Wait, look, see my sweatshirt, the ultimate sweatshirt.
There you go. I know, I'd already clocked that was a pretty nice vintage.
Yeah, it's
reverse weave there. It looks beautiful.
Thank you.
So yeah, with that collaboration, I went to Cone Denim, and I'm sure some of you listeners who are very into denim will know exactly who Cone Denim is, but I'm sure there are a lot of people who don't. But they're kind of like America's sort of biggest and oldest denim mill, and they have this. It's very big, and they actually weave in Mexico and in China too. But they have this one particular plant within their mill called the white oak plant. And in white oak, they have these draper looms that have been weaving denim for something like 115 years. They've done a lot of fabrics for, say, for instance, Levi's have their Levi's vintage clothing range. And recently, very, very sadly, they closed. I think that the last piece of denim came off the looms, I think it was in January. So it's very, very sad. But I went to visit in 2003, I think, or 4, and I learned how denim is created, from the cotton being picked in, from the cotton fields, all the way through, the weaving and spinning process, the dyeing process, everything. So that really opened my eyes to the fact that denim is not just about, jeans. It's not about the final product. It's about chemistry and, even mathematics. It just kind of got me started on this like crazy journey where I was like, I'm never going to learn everything there is to learn about denim. So I'm addicted. And that was that, really.
That, it's so funny. That's awesome, because I got addicted by the feel of it. There's nothing better. And I've got processes. I mean, I used to live on a loft in the marina. I used to put my jeans out there after I would wear them, especially my Japanese denim, and I would flip them in the sun.
Yeah.
And I would age them that way. I would wear, and the whole thing is, I've worn a pair for 6 months and there's no difference between what they were new. It just depends on the thickness, because the Japanese denim, some of them are so thick. It's unbelievable. It's, it is just, it hurts, so
yeah, it's
I've
a painful process.
Oh yeah. So I've learned eBay is like my favorite place. I'll go to eBay and I'll pay $110 for somebody else that wore the shit out of them for 2 years, and I think denim to me is a statement. It's always been a personal statement. When you look at somebody anybody can go and buy a pair of 7 or Page denim, and it's done by this machine and it looks the same. But when you get a pair of like vintage Wranglers, and you get a pair of vintage Levi's, or you get, a pair of Japanese denim that somebody really broke in, there's not only that a story. I mean, my new obsession is the U.S. Navy jackets from the 40s.
Yeah.
Those are unreal. I mean, just the way the denim does it. And from studying denim, every denim has a different break-in. Every jean has a different break-in. Wranglers go lighter, and they have some of the best fades that are light, almost white-like, while Levi's will whisker like.
It's low, isn't it? Really?
Oh, yeah. So, I mean, what inspired the book? Because the book, you got a book for girls coming out too, which is really great. And what is your favorite? Like, what's your, like, I know you have it. Do you have lots of jeans? Are they stuffed in the closet?
Yes. Well, yeah. Okay. So first off, to answer your question about the book, basically, I worked in design for a while, and then I went into trend forecasting. And funny enough, that's mostly what I do. I'm like a consultant and trend forecaster for the denim industry. And Levi's are one of my clients, in fact. And what I found suddenly from going from a designer to almost being a kind of business to business journalist. So I go to a lot of like geeky trade shows about the new fabrics that are coming out, or even for instance, in Las Vegas, they have like a trade show where Levi's show like next season's collections. So I was meeting all these really impressive gentlemen of the industry. So, head designers of Levi's XX division in Amsterdam, or founders of small niche brands. And I realized that these guys, there's nothing like you're talking, the way you talk about denim, there's no, people don't get like that about sweaters. Let's just say that,
No,
right?
no.
Like a geeky sweater black market out there, like there's not, denim is so unique in that way, and people get very, very geeky about it. And I think what you explained is exactly why, because the way that it breaks in and breaks down is so unique. And this is the way I kind of, people ask me this a lot, why denim? Why is it so special? And I think it is the fact that it's the most customizable fabric out there. For those who don't know, when you dye, I mean, basically, you weave spin this yarn, and it's white, obviously. It goes into the indigo, and the reason your jeans break down at different levels and different speeds is because it's how deep that indigo is penetrated into the yarn. So that's why your jeans start getting paler and paler, because there's white inside the middle of that yarn. So it's like the indigo's chipping off. So with that in mind, different weaves, different penetrations of indigo, and different, how different people wear their jeans. That's what's so fantastic. You see people's like wallet marks in there.
I love, Amy,
it's so fun.
I buy wallet marks. Are you kidding me? When I go to a vintage store, I look at the back pockets. I'm buying tobacco. I'm buying skull. I'm buying wallet marks. And it's funny. There's a new thing that I've learned when you buy Japanese denim used, because a lot of the Japanese denim is owned by a lot of geeky guys, right? Because they want to, they know that raw denim look good, and it's a big, right? Yeah. So you have if they're an iPhone user or an iPhone Plus user, by their back pocket. It's hilarious. I looked at a pair in a vintage shop one time, and I go, I'm not buying it. The woman goes, why? She goes, they're amazing. I said, I ain't an iPhone Plus guy. I'm an iPhone regular guy.
I love it.
It's interesting to see. And to me, there's nothing that feels better. I mean, I bought a pair of 50s Wranglers that are unbelievable. There's a double patch on the leg, so, they shredded down. So somebody patched over. They patched on top. My tailor is really funny. She'll take them in a little, she's really good at taking stuff in, right? And she goes, God, the patch is on the outside. I go, no, this is fine, and it's just so beautiful. The pockets hanging off, you could see the history, but the uniqueness, when you see somebody who's wearing something, you can literally see, to me, it's a history thing. You can literally see where those jeans were passed on and how they were worked. And I bought a pair one time on eBay from a cowboy. He got it from a cowboy who only wore Levi's, and he got his entire collection and sold them on eBay. And I picked up a couple of pairs, and you could just see the stains and the work stains. And it's beautiful to like, and the way it feels. There's nothing better than, and that fabric changes over the years too. Like a modern pair of Levi's just doesn't feel the same as Levi's from the 60s, 70s, or 80s. There's a whole different feel to them, so when I saw your book, I was like, oh my God, yes, somebody who's giving credit to
these guys,
to like guys like me who are obsessed with jeans.
That was it, really. I just, I think, like you say, we obviously, we both get it, and I'm sure there's a lot of denim heads out there who, when you catch that bug and you meet a like-minded person, you're like, yep, you're preaching to the choir here, right? And it is, once you're in that little club, and what I try to do with the book as well is, of course, there are lots of people who are maybe more well-known guys within the industry, but there's also just obsessives and consumers as well, or store owners, for instance. But the thing that unites them is this love for indigo, and it is true. It's a journey, and it's a story, and I think that's what's lovely about. I mean, I have a lot of friends who maybe they don't buy raw, and I don't. I actually buy a lot of vintage, probably like you. I do buy a lot of vintage, but I have some friends who are like, oh, the wearing in, it's so tough. But that's what's kind of interesting about it, because if you do break through that, I had an ex-boyfriend who, I mean, a lot of my exes end up getting into denim simply.
Of course.
I don't give them any choice. But I met up with an ex-boyfriend in New York about a year ago, and he walked in, and I'm sorry, but I looked at his face and I looked straight at his jeans and I was like, oh my God, I'm so proud of you. They look amazing. Like, look at the wear patterns on those. And, you know, I got him into LVC and he's like, no, this is what I wear now. And I was like so impressed. And he'd gone on this journey with this pair of jeans. So he now has been bitten by this, like, wear them in from raw bug. And, you know, I have to say that I, as a woman, it's a bit different. Like, I have a few raws, well, quite a lot of raws probably. But it is something that I'm not as geeky about, simply because I think guys have this way of, they see their clothes as a kind of uniform and they wear the sort of, they get their perfect pair of jeans and like you say, their perfect t-shirt, their perfect sweatshirt, and they wear that religiously. I am more into fashion, so I have a lot of different jeans. I'm just like looking at them now.
Oh, please. I got at least 30. I mean, I'm not, you know, I got one for every day of the month.
So I moved to LA about 2 years ago, and I mean, being a woman and I work in trend. I mean, I'm looking there. I bought over, well, I came here 2 years ago with 2 suitcases. So it was like favorite stuff, then second favorite. Every time I go back to Europe, I bring more stuff over, and I've never shipped. So I have a storage unit back in England with about 3 or 4 postage sacks full of denim. And here, I'd say about 50, maybe. I've got about 50. And then like jackets and stuff like that. But of course, the trouble is LA is so full of amazing vintage that, of course, the collection has continued. And it's quite dangerous when you move somewhere with maybe like 20% of your collection of clothes, because you just keep going and you fill your closet.
And we're going to run out of time. So I got one final question for you.
Of course.
Because I can talk about this for hours and hours and hours.
Right.
You know, I could go and go and go, and we'll bring you back, and we'll bring you back when the book is released as well, too, and continue this conversation, because I want you to advise the listeners on how to find the perfect pair of jeans.
Oh gosh.
Okay, which I think is really, really important, because I'm like you. I mean, I can vintage shop every single weekend. I got no problem with it. My girlfriend can go do it with me. So, you know, she's the same way. You know, she's into the overalls right now. You know, it's like, and it's fun. So, where can they find the book? I know they can find it on Amazon, right? Denim Dudes is already out. When's Denim Dudettes coming out?
It's interesting because Dudettes is technically out on the 3rd of April.
Okay.
But someone just posted the other day that it was in the Strand bookshop in New York. So I don't know whether it's actually hitting. I mean, it tends to happen when you bring a book out. It kind of hits stores at different times. If you pre-order on Amazon, it's on Amazon now to pre-order. And I would say if you pre-order on Amazon now, it'll probably come to your doorstep in about 10 days. But I'm guessing. And then, yes, finding the perfect jean. I mean, it is so hard because it's such a personal experience. And of course, we're talking to lots of different levels of people, probably. There are people out there who are geeky like yourself who have no problem finding the jeans. The jeans find them. You kind of, some days you wish that they would stop finding you because you cannot stop buying them. But there are other people who get quite intimidated, and it is true. It is a difficult process for some people. And I'd say that if you're not, a super aficionado, I do think there's nothing wrong with going to a department store. You know, I mean, American Rag is great. They're pretty knowledgeable in there. And of course, you know, anywhere from like Nordstrom or whatever, that, you know, there's a lot. You can see a lot of brands in one go. But I mean, if you want to get into raw, I think in this city, Self-Edge is a really good place to start.
Oh, Self-Edge is the best. But you know what? I want to bring you back and have this discussion, because this discussion is a longer discussion.
It is.
And I want to talk about really the next time, and I want to bring you back, you know, as the book gets closer, right? Because I want to talk about really the importance of jeans as a fashion statement, right? Because I think it's really important for men and women to understand that. And also the misconception that people have that there is a big difference between good denim and bad denim. And a lot of people don't understand what good denim truly is, because I could tell you the Sevens of the world and the other ones, they use bad denim. It's bad denim. Denim's not supposed to stretch all over the place. It's not supposed to sag and look like you're wearing diapers. So anyway, Amy's got some good books. The Denim Dude, the Denim Dudette, you know, we're going to bring you back, and we're going to talk more about this. And
let's do it.
Thank you for joining the podcast.
Oh, thank you for having me, and thanks for your interest. Yeah, absolutely.
You're welcome.